Tropical Americas is expected to open at Disney's Animal Kingdom in 2027, and details are finally emerging. Hello everybody, welcome. Though details about the brand new Encanto attraction have been tightly under wraps, a new series of leaks may have just given us details on this brand new attraction. The Tropical Americas area will be the first large expansion area that will be created as part of the $30 billion investment that Disney is putting in over the next decade. This $30 billion investment to their theme parks division includes the Tropical Americas area coming to Animal Kingdom. It also includes the Monsters, Inc. land that I think everybody is excited for at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The Cars expansion area coming to Magic Kingdom that's replacing the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island, and the Villains area that's going to be beyond Thunder Mountain coming in later years. It also includes other areas and attractions that are becoming to Disney's California Adventure and Disneyland. Tropical Americas was first announced back in 2023 at the D23 Expo in Anaheim, California. And this new area is essentially replacing the old Dinoland area that is in Animal Kingdom. It's the area that really didn't get a lot of use, that had the Primeval World there. Lots of carnival games. A lot of things about that area people didn't like. They didn't feel like it fit in. But a lot of people really loved it. And of course, it's also replacing the Dinosaur attraction, which people have a lot of love for. And right now we're expecting this new land to open sometime in 2027, though that has not yet been confirmed by Disney. So as of right now, all of the Triceratops Spin, the Fossil Fun Games area, Chester and Hester's store there, the treasure store, and the Boneyard are all now closed and all walled off. The Dinosaur attraction, the Restaurantasurus, the Dino Bite Snacks, and the Trilo-Bites Snacks are all still open for right now, but they will all be closing completely on February 2nd of 2026. So if you're a fan of those restaurants and that attraction Dinosaur, we've still got a little bit of time to enjoy it before it goes away. Now there is also a new addition to this land that is not replacing anything, which is the Encanto attraction, the Encanto ride. Now technically, it is filling the space where Primeval World used to be. There used to be an attraction there that not a lot of people loved. It was kind of herky-jerky, and it was a little painful, to be honest. They ended up tearing that down, so that is where the Encanto attraction is going to be. Some of the things that we're going to be getting in this new Tropical Americas land is going to be the animal carousel that we're going to be getting. That's essentially replacing Triceratops Spin. It's basically a cute little carousel attraction. It's got some really nice, carved animals and creatures. We already know that Kevin from Up is going to be one of the creatures that you can sit on this carousel. So it'll be a nice little family fun attraction that's coming there. We know that the restaurants are going to be rethemed. Most likely they are going to be rethemed something around Indiana Jones, I'm assuming. Still don't have a lot of details around that, but the proximity of the Restaurantasurus being right next to the Indiana Jones area that's going to be replacing Dinosaur, I'm pretty sure that that's what it's going to be themed at. Maybe something like Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar that's at Disney Springs. And then the Boneyard, or somewhere in the little trail area where you can do meet and greets with Daisy and Donald. Somewhere in that space we're going to be getting some sort of new playground. Currently expected to be themed around maybe Indiana Jones or some sort of Mayan type styling. We thought maybe Encanto, but the proximity of where it is with the Dinosaur ride, we're hearing more and more about it probably being some sort of Mayan playground. And of course, lastly, we have the Indiana Jones attraction itself that is replacing Dinosaur. And out of all of the things that are happening in this land, we have a pretty good idea of everything that we're getting. We've got some pretty good details around the carousel. We know that the Indiana Jones attraction is going to be similar to the one over there in Anaheim at Disneyland. It will be a different storyline, but it's the same ride vehicle, same type. It'll be kind of a similar experience to what you can ride there, which is actually a really fun attraction. The Indiana Jones attraction, I think, is one of the top attractions out there that people like. But the Encanto attraction itself, which is kind of ending up being the marquee, sort of attraction in that space, it's really just been hush-hush. Not a lot of details about it. They're trying to hide it. They're really not giving us a lot of information about it. So everybody wants to know, what is this attraction going to be like? When it was first announced, Josh D'Amaro described this as a dark, family fun attraction. He explained it as a classic dark ride attraction. And this really is Disney's bread and butter. This sort of like dark ride, omni-movers, trackless attractions. This is their bread and butter. They do this better than pretty much anybody else. And just on its surface, the concept art that we have, the casita, the family madrigals sort of house that's in the movie that you're very familiar with, that's going to be the facade. That's what we're going to be able to see. And it looks absolutely amazing. Now we know that this attraction's primary focus will be the day that Antonio is essentially celebrating receiving his gift. He can communicate with animals. The house is essentially creating rooms and things for him and styling it the way that it works for him. So that's going to be the primary storyline. So if we think about it positionally and timeline from the movie, it's going to be at that kind of point in the movie, somewhere around that time frame, and going to center around this day. Which is really interesting because a lot of really great iconic songs that are in the movie come long after that. There's some really good songs that come before that. And so thinking about that timeline, it's going to be almost, I think, a new experience, a miniature sort of like spin-off of this time frame that you don't actually get to see in the movies. And we do know that some of the original voice actors are going to be coming in and adding their stylings and adding their voice to this attraction and giving us new dialogue and new things. So it won't just be a rehash of the movie and all the iconic scenes from the movie. There's going to be a lot of new things happening that we've never seen before. We also know that the final scene will essentially be culminating in Antonio's sort of like rainforest room and landscape. And we're going to get to encounter Antonio himself, obviously, a lot of his animal friends, and even Bruno. And that's really all that we know about this attraction officially. But this new leak that's just come out online on some of the forums, an apparent insider that has been putting this information out on the web, this gives us some really interesting details that we haven't gotten before about this attraction. First off, I want to say, how big is this attraction? Right now, we think the show building is around 65,000 square feet in size, which is very large. It's almost the size of the Cosmic Rewind building. If you think about how large that structure is at Epcot, it takes up about 65,000 square feet. And with a building that size, that's going to be back there in that area of Animal Kingdom, if you're familiar with that space, they're going to have to do a lot of really cool trickery with greenery and bushes and trees, similar to what they've done with the Dinosaur attraction, if you've ever seen that. If you look at the Dinosaur attraction on its surface, it has sort of this like small facade, and then it has all these trees built up around it that make it look like there's this big forest behind it. But in fact, what's actually happening there are some trees on the sides, and there are a few actual trees on top of the building itself. And those trees essentially hide the giant show building that is behind the facade of Dinosaur. So I'm expecting to have something very similar for the casita, where you're going to see the family madrigal's beautiful house with all the colors, and then the giant show building, which is sort of like a staged show building. It kind of steps up as it goes further back. You can see that in the model. That's all going to be covered with like trees and bushes and things to make it feel like a big giant rainforest kind of back there. And all you're going to really see is that facade of the house itself. And this is just Disney magic at its finest. I mean, they just do this amazingly. So apparently the casita itself will actually be in motion. So the window shutters and the doors and things of the actual house will be in constant motion. They'll be opening and closing and sort of fluttering and moving, which I think is really great. I think it's needed because that house itself, it just has so much energy and things by the end of the movie. And seeing it kind of move, I think will be really cool. The biggest thing people want to know though is the ride vehicles itself and the track. What kind of experience is it going to be? What we're hearing is that the ride vehicles will be shaped like furniture that the casita has basically brought to life. The casita will actually be moving the furniture around. You will be sitting on that furniture as you're going through the experience. The vehicles themselves will hold what we're understanding, what we hear. Again, this is from the leaks. 2 to 3 people per row, 2 rows per car, and then 2 cars attached. So essentially, 1 car, 2 cars attached, and in each car there's 2 rows with 2 to 3 people in each row. So the entire vehicle itself carries about 8 to 12 people. If you think of an attraction like Journey into Imagination with Figment, similar ride vehicle. Like you have sort of like the two, you can fit 2 or 3 people and then 2 or 3 people behind that, and they're sort of connected. I think the Journey into Imagination has 4 cars though, 4 or 5 that are connected, and this one will only have 2. We're also hearing rumors that this is not a traditional Omnimover, but it's also possibly not a trackless attraction either. So something maybe in the middle or something new entirely. We're still waiting on details, but but from what I'm reading, I keep hearing it's going to be more like Journey into Imagination and less like, Haunted Mansion or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, for the experience itself, for the attractions, for the rooms, we're hearing that there will be 12 unique rooms throughout this attraction, which I feel like is a lot. If I think about how many rooms are in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, maybe 10 or so, or maybe 12 large rooms. So it seems like it's going to be a pretty sizable attraction overall. Out of those 12s, we're getting leaked information about 5 of them potentially. One of the scenes will be all about Isabella. So that particular character will have some sort of marquee moment, some sort of her room to herself where something's happening. A second room location is possibly around the character Peppa. There's some sort of like weather related event going on in that particular room. We've also heard that one of the rooms is labeled Behind the Walls. So that is very much leading people to speculate that this could be some sort of Bruno room, Bruno interaction, going behind the walls where Bruno is living in the casita. As you know, at this point in the film, he is still living behind the walls and he's sort of hidden and tucked away. So it makes sense that there would be this sort of experience in the attraction. We've also heard that Bruno will be in the queue in some capacity. So not only will he be in the attraction, but he'll also be in the queue. Obviously not confirmed, but this is, again, rumor from the leaks. And then there are 2 rooms that are essentially connected that are part of the sort of last moment finale celebratory event. And this is supposed to be 2 scenes that are sort of joined to each other, and it's going to be very large, some very large finale goodbye event in the room. My mind goes to Tiana's Bayou, sort of that finale moment that you get at the end of Tiana's Bayou that you got at the end of Splash Mountain, which has all the different characters at the party all saying goodbye to you and waving. This is possibly where we'll see people like Mirabelle and some of the other characters that haven't been mentioned yet. That's the thing. We don't know if any of these other characters are going to end up being in the attraction anywhere because we haven't heard word of it. I assume that they are going to be, but it doesn't seem like Mirabelle is going to be the primary character for this attraction. Seems like it might really be either Bruno or Antonio. We're not really sure about the other scenes, the other 7 scenes that we have no information, no leaked information about that yet. And we are definitely expecting it to be some sort of mixture of animatronics and screens in this entire attraction. Probably very similar to Tiana's Bayou, where you've got a lot of animatronics and a lot of creatures, a lot of like turtles and frogs and all the different creatures that are in that attraction. Very similar. We know that, again, Antonio communicates with animals. I'm expecting tons and tons of tropical woodland creatures all throughout this entire thing, mixed in with animatronics of the characters. Lots of probably jungle type scenes. And then really nice, seamless sort of screens woven through to give, some of the like energy and magic and things that are going on in the casita. I think it'd be really cool. Maybe some transformation scenes that are happening where a particular room transforms into something else, thinking like a Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway where they use projection mapping to do a lot of the different transformations in there. I really feel like they're going to be pulling out all the stops and some of these, like some of the magic that's going to be happening in this house to make it feel not just like a standard dark ride where you're going through and seeing animatronics, but really some cool special effects, projection mapping, screens woven in with nice animatronics. I think it's gonna be really awesome. Once again, this is the bread and butter of Disney. They just do these types of attractions amazingly. So I'm very excited about this. I'm curious, what else have you heard? Anything that I haven't covered? Any of the thing about the validity of the leaks? And if you heard more information, things that I haven't covered, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments because the information just keeps trickling. Every day I keep getting more and more information, so I'd love to report out on those. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited about Tropical Americas? Do you think this is going to be a top tier attraction? definitely is needed at Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom needs a bit more. They need more attractions, more things to do. Still sad to see Dinosaur going, but I also am excited about the new Indiana Jones attraction. So that's all I've got. Once again, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content. Until I see you next time, the Noble Way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.